kind of capture that moment where your first performance of Who Will Separate Us, was that here in the Moat?
Yeah, it was here in the Moat.
Tell me about that first performance. Were you nervous before, and how did it feel to give this back to Naas? Just go through the night for me in a few steps.
I suppose Barbara Sheridan was the catalyst for it, because she agreed to direct the play, and we put it on downstairs to a small audience.
This is 2017?
17, yeah. And we put it on for a small audience in the foyer, and it was only a 20-minute play at that time.
It's a lovely place to do that.
It was.
Listeners,
it is.
Know, if you go walk into the Moat Theatre, there's a cafe. I put on, the first time I was messing around with another play that I wrote, that was a perfect location for it, just as a place to try out something, and then okay, it's ready or it's not ready, or I need to do this.
Yeah. No, it was great, and it was great to showcase for the first time a play and to see how the audience, a select audience of Moat Club members, would receive it, and they received it really well. And from a 20-minute play with only 3 monologues, it developed. We then performed it in Alice's restaurant, as you remember.
Yeah. Is that gone?
Yeah, it is gone. The cafe is still there, but she's moved on.
Okay.
And Eileen is a great support of the arts. Many people played and performed there. So we took the play there and we performed it one Good Friday there. And then we performed it in Kilkenny twice, and we performed it in Mountjoy Prison. And then it developed into the full play, which was over an hour. And we took it here on stage in the Moat twice, sold out, roaring standing ovations. And then we took it to the Edinburgh Fringe. Yeah. And we also had an audience with Naas CBS students as well. So in all, I think we had about 12, 13, 14 performances of it, and it was really well received everywhere. Yeah, it was good.
Do you want to do it again? Or is it something?
No, it's moved on now. I may do it again. I won't be in it myself because I'm too old now.
Okay,
because he was 44.
You have ownership of this play. If people want to have it, it's there.
Yeah, it will come back. And having the Naas connection was great. Obviously, it was a story about my great-grandfather. It was also the story of the great-grandfather of Pete Kavanagh, and Pete was involved in the music, did a great job. Okay. And everybody involved in that.
And I knew Pete's dad who worked in Oddlands.
Yeah, Pete's... Barney. Yeah, so they all came from Edward and
That's it. I mean, that's what must be special about you looking down at the audience. Well, you probably shouldn't look down at the audience if you're an actor, but you're aware that the audience are there, that are related to people you're depicting. And were you were obviously choosing specific people that existed as opposed to... Yeah,
the play name-checked and mentioned many people from Naas. And their family were in the audience a lot of the nights. People related to many of the people mentioned in the play were there. Right. So it was good. But it wasn't just the people, it was the places. And it was very real. It was very real. It really is a play that belongs to Naas. Yeah. And hopefully it's the first, and I'm working on others, and the others will come too. Yeah. Because I think Naas people really need to connect. You really need to know who you are and where you came from. Yeah. And like I said, that was my intention at the time, to give a Naas play to Naas people. Great, and to also shine a light on, hey, come on, why haven't we done this already? Why hasn't the Moat Theatre done this already? Yeah. So I think in the arts, you really have to give people a prod and say, come on, we can't be reproducing all these plays over and over again from the same playwrights. We have to be original. We have to find our own stories.
You could have the Naas trilogy or something.
Well, look, it's about being original. You know yourself, a lot of your songs, a lot of your music is original. It comes from a special place, and it's all very well putting on plays that people have seen.
It's kind of like the cover band against the not against cover band, but it's like singing someone else's song and doing your own song. There is a difference.
Of course, it is. It's when stuff is organic, when it's from that place,
and also singing about what you know or writing about what you know. Yeah. Not that everybody should do it, but I definitely I saw the play and I could definitely it really made me feel like that there was a lot of your soul gone into it, which was fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
So we just move on to another play that you were messing around with, Strike 1972. Yeah. And when I read the title of that, this is the one about Bord na Móna. I thought this was about a strike. Is it about a strike? Or
it is.
It is.
It is about a strike. A lady from the Abbey Theatre came to see Who Will Separate Us when we performed it in Mountjoy. And then they asked me would I go and write a play with them and had I any ideas. So I shared with them the idea of a play based in Coill Dubh about a strike. And I can't go into too much about the specific strike because we have to get rights and there's some people still involved in names and places.
Still striking.
No, it's still relevant because there's people still alive today,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I can't mention everything.
Sensitive,
But the play itself is about a strike that took place, but it focuses on how people in Coill Dubh lived, and it tries to get across the unique village experience of living in Coill Dubh. And so I wrote that with the Abbey, and it still needs a bit of work. I wouldn't be happy to stage it just yet.
So what's the process as regards the Abbey's input into that? Do they aid you, help you along? Have you got someone to bounce off within the Abbey? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I had a mentor named Pamela McQueen, and she's a dramaturg. And a dramaturg is somebody who just looks at your writing and kind of points you in the right direction, or
Did you find that something that was very positive?
Yeah, of course it was. It was great because she's a professional, and actually going to the Abbey once every 3 or 4 weeks.
To go into the building,
to go into the building and to go up to either the rehearsal room. One day we couldn't find a space, so we just sat on the stage.
Yeah.
And we sat on the stage and opened up our laptops and our notes, and so you're on the stage of the Abbey there. And I suppose the best thing was they gave it a reading with Abbey actors. So all eight Abbey actors came along and read the various parts, and I got the opportunity to listen to the play and listen to the story about Coill Dubh from people that you'd see on television.
Yeah,
they were really quite famous.
It reminds me of that. I don't know if you've seen the RTE show where it was Sean O'Casey's play was being done by people who had never acted before.
Yeah.
That was actually going really well. It was probably the one thing that I was watching on RTE during this COVID business, and then it had to stop because of COVID because they couldn't film anymore, which was sad.
It's a pity.
Well, hopefully it does. 2 episodes on it.
But I suppose the thing about Strike 1972 gets back to who will separate us in Naas. You need to tell stories from your own place. And having told a story from Naas, who will separate us, I needed to tell one from Coill Dubh, and to reflect Coill Dubh people, Carbery people, Bog people.
Do you have to go out and interview people for that?
I spoke a lot with a great man out there called John Larkin, a great historian, and he filled me in on he just filled in a lot of the blanks in my knowledge, because I was young when I left Coill Dubh. And then he was able to recapture for me the great sense of community in a place like Coill Dubh, and the kind of uniqueness of, you all
strangers being put together, living beside each other.
Yeah, from all over the country. Yeah. So hopefully Strike 1972 will take to the stage, and again it will be a play given back to the people from that town, from that era, from that place.
When I come in here to the Abbey, we're talking about shows that potentially could go on stage again, and we are obviously living. You're a school teacher. We're living through this period. I don't have to tell people what's going on. This is welcome to 2020. But when I walked into the theatre today, into the moat, I met the lady who runs it, Celine, and there was a little sprout of confidence that things might get back to some sort of normality, and little bits of ideas were coming out of her mouth, and I was thinking, oh wow. And then I started to think, well, if I was somebody who might go to the theatre 3 times a year, when things get back to normal, I'd go every week if I could, because there's just this need to see things and to celebrate life and to get out there. And I don't think there's any need to write any plays about COVID, because I think there's going to be enough of them going around. But I'd say people are just dying to get out and see stuff,
Yeah.
You never know, we might have a big celebration of theatre in the next few years.
Yeah, well, hopefully, people are missing theatre a lot, and Celine is great. She's done a wonderful job here in the moat, and it's difficult for her trying to plan, and yet, looking at the protocols, looking at all the rules and what theatres are allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. So it's really difficult. But there's still theatre happening. I was in a play last week out in Kill.
Tell me about this. This is Kill, County Kildare. Those of you from outside of the country or the county, Kill is where, of course, Liam Óga Flynn, the famous piper, came from, and not too far away from Ted Walsh. And it's a great little town. It's got a great community. Tell me about this theatre. Yeah,
well, you're right. It is a great community, and Kill Music and Drama Society are a great drama group. They're really, really dynamic. So if you can imagine everyone lamenting that there's no theatre and no plays, and actors can't act, and lighting people can't do a lighting job, sound people can't do a sound job, stage builders can't do the stage building job. Well, last week, and directors can't do the director's job. Last week, Kill put on a series of plays over 3 days outside in a park, with people socially distanced from each other.
Is this the park where you'd see if the bus stopped?
Yeah, beside the
green.
church. Yeah. And they put up a stage there, and we were all mic'd, and it was absolutely fantastic experience. And it just goes to show you what a community can do, and what a great drama group can do, to just say, look, we need to act, we need to direct, we need to. So you really have to.
How long did you have to? Were you acting?
Yeah, I was.
How long did you have to learn your lines for that one?
It was really quick, because when they did,
so.
yeah, it was. But that was part of the fun. You would know yourself. We all love being part of the creative process.
Sometimes when I have to learn lines very fast, it's quite daunting.
Well, look, it was for months we were doing nothing, and now you have the opportunity to be part of the creative process again. So I was in 2 plays out there. One, I played Tig in an excerpt from The Field, and then the other was in a nice, quirky, funny play as well. But it was great to see that people could work around COVID and provide theatre.
How many people were potentially, what was the capacity?
Oh, and each night, looking out, there was at least 50 or 60.
A separate kind of tables?
Yeah.
Is it cabaret kind of style or something?
Well, it's in a park.
I've just learned this word recently. Yeah. Well, I know what cabaret is, but people are talking about cabaret now as a way to combat this situation.
No, people brought their own deck chairs.
Okay.
And that was explained, So it just goes to show what can be achieved.
Yeah, there we go.
And, there are far bigger theatres and drama groups, and they're not doing anything like this.
Well, that's it.
So
maybe
for
it's
Coill,
the small ones that will survive.
Look, for Coill and Rhonda, who's the chairperson out there, and Kieran O'Shea and Tom McCarthy and Laura Sheen and all these great people, and I'm going to miss somebody out, Brendan Carton and so on. Wow, what an achievement to do that in the same week that the gate decided they've closed. Why are they closing?
Have the gate decided they're closed?
Why can't they do it? Absolutely. Why can't they do anything? So you have these small little drama group like Coill Music and Drama Society showing everybody the way forward, and we should be doing it in Naas too.
Tell me more about Monster Evan Drama Group.
Yeah, a great drama group down there who unfortunately we took on their first play in over 40 years, resurrected the drama group, had even if I say so myself,
you were directing.
I wrote and directed Hens with them. And they're fantastic people, really good, really ambitious. And we had a sellout. We sold out 6 nights in a row. We could have sold out another 6 nights in a row. And they're on the up, and things are going great for them. And then COVID hit. Okay. But I hope, like Monastrevan, or like Coill, Monastrevan will look and go, look, we've already got the basis of a great drama group. Let's see if we can do something in a park, or in an open space, or outside.
The community spirit is there. There's no big, like with the bigger theatres. It's like the big audition process. There's the various huge things to consider. Yeah, you just can't beat the small town or village drama group. They're the lifeblood of the drama. They're far more important than. I was just talking to somebody in Westmeath yesterday from Mount Temple. It's a small little, same size as Prosper's or Cara, and he has a little theatre group going. And this fella's young, like he's been in his 20s. He's like, because he started to act in the local theatre group, which is quite a good reputation. He started to write his own plays and stuff. Great. And it's like, I didn't think that was kind of going on as much as it is, but especially in rural Ireland, it's the only outlet to try and act or to try to express yourself is these small theatre groups, Well, with Monastrevan there, so in February, a huge success with the play Hens, and they did a fantastic job of it, but many people got involved for the first time, and when I was directing it, I had no problem casting people for the first time, and people who were fantastic actresses and actors. It must be a great buzz to see people develop and see where they. It was, and it's tough. Any director will tell you, you kind of have to be a bit mean sometimes, and you have to, you have to get people to learn their lines. But some great people down there who hopefully, despite COVID, will keep on moving forward, because they resurrected the theatre company for the first time in 40 years. And on the community centre, was it? There's a community centre there with its own theatre, has its own stage, a raked stage, has its own lighting and sound system. So everything is there for Monastrevan to be a really magnificent drama group, and they will be. So hopefully they'll get around COVID and maybe do what Coill did. Yeah, okay, do that. An outdoor gigs, small little plays on a street corner, wherever, and just to get people creating again, get them involved, get the sound people involved, get the lighting people involved. I think people are exhausted with the online thing at this point. Yeah. I'm actually doing a lot of online stuff because people are asking me to do it, but if it was my own choice, I'd probably just do my best to do it in the real world, because at this point, I'm tired of looking at screens, and I'd say a lot of people are, And another play that you did, Tom, was this something to do with the Dublin Gate Theatre? I See You, Tom Kennedy. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, well, I've always wanted to write a play that would reflect maybe changing Ireland, and I See You, Tom Kennedy was a play that allowed me to do that. It was accepted into the International Dublin Gay Theatre Festival in 2018.